G'day, welcome back to another episode of Tomo's Engine Building Tech Tips, proudly sponsored by Minisport. On this episode, we are talking about core plugs, freeze plugs, Welsh plugs, whatever it is that you'd like to call them. Now, this one particularly is off a small bore engine. This is off Grace, the 1098 A series engine. This is an A+ 1275 and has different size freeze plugs, core plugs, whatever it is you'd like to call them. Now, it is important to note that different engine sizes have different core plugs, so make sure you buy the right ones to suit the engine in which you've got. Now, what we want to be doing is when we fit them, we want to make sure that the hole is completely free of debris, rust, dirt, anything that's inside there that can prevent it sealing. The reason for that is if we put it in there and it's not a clean, smooth seal, you'll find it will leak. It may not happen straight away, but it could leak potentially, especially when it's under pressure. So once it's all nice and clean, we're then going to grab some sealant. Now, you can use a bunch of different sealants on these. You can go in dry if you like. It's not really advised, but you can do it. I have done it before. Aviation sealant, but this one here that I'm going to be using is a Loctite 577 thread sealant. Now, this is a high pressure sealant that'll do up to a working pressure of 2600 kPa and a temperature range between -10 and plus 135 degrees centigrade. So something that's really good to be used on a cooling system such as this. One of my mates actually got me onto this, so this will be the first time I try this, and it's pretty cheap as well. I think it's like 15 bucks a tube, so I'll try and put a link in the description down below. All you want to be doing is taking the cap off and just running a smooth bead all the way around the outside there, putting it in and then pressing it in. Now, this one here is a convex type Welsh plug, which means you're going to put it in there and then you're going to hit the center of it with a hammer, or you want to try and use something like a brass drift. In the middle, you're going to give it a couple of good hits and then it's going to push it out, which the pushing out motion causes it to expand, which then means it's going to seal the freeze plug or the hole. Now, this one here is like a cup type, so you're going to be putting it in there. You're going to be using a socket roughly the same size as it. You want to be putting it in, well, you want it to be a little bit smaller, should I say, so it fits inside the cup, but not so big that it's going to be on the outside of it, just around the outside here. You want to be applying a little bit of sealant around the outside, grabbing a brass drift and just knocking it in nice and even, and then you want to make sure it's nice and flat with the ends. That way you can ensure that anything that goes up above here, whether it's the other side of the transfer case or the other side, for instance, where the engine steady bar might go. Sorry, the engine steady bar actually goes on this side, my bad. You want to make sure that is nice and flush, or it's recessed just a little bit. Sometimes they do have a little lip on the inside, which means that it will prevent you going any further. This one here, for instance, doesn't, so that'll push straight through. So you do want to make sure that they are recessed the same amount on both sides. A little bit of thread sealant's not going to hurt. This does take about 24 hours to cure, so make sure when you do it, you apply it liberally. You don't have to go bananas with it and have it oozing out the sides. Any excess, just wipe it off. Leave it for about 24 hours before you put any coolant or additives in it. That way you can ensure it's going to dry. Hope you like the Tomo's engine building tech tips for this week. We've got a couple more things coming up on this 1275 plus 40 engine build, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Tomo's engine building tech tips.